Bright sunlight shone down on the large orphanage. Outside the door, the children pressed their ears against it to listen to the situation inside. But not a single word leaked out. Inside the room, Bunny stood before a black-suited bodyguard, her eyes showing a glimpse of curiosity mixed with wariness. After confirming her identity, he respectfully knelt on one knee, placed his hand over his chest, and introduced himself. He was Roden Heiner, the knight who would escort Lady Bunny from now on. Bunny was surprised by the unfamiliar words. But quickly, the little girl regained her joy and excitement. If this was true, her chance to change her life, just as Lyly had once mentioned, had arrived, and this was the starting point for Bunny to become the Great Demon King. Flashing back to when Bunny was small and lived in the Demon King's castle. Lyly, the nanny who always took care of her, had approached her in the middle of the night and said that Bunny had to go to the human land for training to become the Great Demon King. Then one day, Lyly brought Bunny to an orphanage and told her that one day, a knight would come and turn her into a noble lady. Bunny had to seize that opportunity and take advantage of naive people to increase her strength. And perhaps that day was today. Although filled with overwhelming happiness, Bunny told herself not to be careless. She remembered Lyly's advice that more than half of the world consisted of scammers. So she must always be cautious. Therefore, Bunny threw out a probing statement saying she was not a lady. Roden immediately denied it, explaining that he had investigated thoroughly and confirmed that Bunny possessed the bloodline of the Duke of Udia's family. The little girl could not help but be astonished. A ducal family? Were those not the stories that only appeared in the children's books Lyly used to read to her in the past? A grand family serving as the background for the meeting between a super-strong demon father and a lovely little child with her own hidden sorrows. But a doubt and worry arose in Bunny's mind. She already had parents, so why was she suddenly the lady of a duke's house now? Could it be the script she always saw in stories, where the duke father adopts the main character child because he mistakes her for his biological daughter? And while living happily, the child realizes she is not related by blood, so she runs away from home. In her innocent thoughts, Bunny believed this was a misunderstanding. In reality, Lyly had once told her that she needed a companion until she grew up. Even if that person was not her father. To become a powerful and evil Great Demon King in the future, Bunny had to become an outstanding adult. And perhaps this Duke father was someone Bunny needed to utilize to become exceptional. The little girl instantly thought of a future as a powerful Great Demon King, worshipped and honored by many people. And she could not hide her joy. Seeing this, Roden offered to take Bunny away. The little girl quickly agreed. Bunny prepared her belongings with great readiness for a small child, a teddy bear, a rabbit friend, a plastic knife and cutting board for children, an elephant-shaped piggy bank, and even Lyly's secret notebook. Lyly had said that with this notebook in hand, everything would be solved in a heartbeat. Hurried footsteps echoed, and as soon as she opened the door, Bunny was surrounded by the children. They anxiously asked if she was leaving. Upon receiving her nod, the children could not help but feel sad. Every single one of them had tears welling up in their eyes. And some even lay down to hold onto Bunny's legs. This made the little girl think even more that everyone had been won over. Even the director was reluctant to let her go, reminding Bunny that when she arrived at the mansion, she must not raid the warehouse. After some resisting, the little girl still had to agree with the director's words. The woman gently smiled, hugged Bunny close, and wished her happiness. The little girl promised that when she became the Great Demon King in the future, she would definitely return to the orphanage to visit the director. And then she happily ran out toward the gate. Sitting in the carriage, Bunny imagined hundreds of scenarios in her mind. Before her eyes, a pure white, splendid mansion gradually appeared, glittering under the sunlight. A crowd dressed in luxurious white clothes laughing and talking immediately caught Bunny's attention. They were people from the temple, the place that purifies magical beasts, eradicates the demon race, and protects the peace of humans. The little girl panicked. Eradicates the demon race turn. At this time Lyly strictly reminded Bunny, "Little master, remember, temple people are extremely dangerous." Furthermore, she also continuously scared her by saying, especially the holy knights wearing uniforms from head to toe. They are cold-blooded people. Someone small like Little Master will be captured and eaten immediately. Hearing this, Bunny was confused and thought, if discovered as a demon, will Bunny be captured and eaten? Suddenly she turned around and saw something on her sleeve and realized something. Bunny stepped back to defend herself and asked, Roden, are you a temple knight? After that she heard the answer and also breathed a sigh of relief. No, I am a knight of the Duke of Udia family. While walking, Roden explained his identity again, telling her more that the Duke of Udia family is the place that produced high priests, holy knight captains and holy saints over many generations. He even told more details. Not only that, Udia is also a sacred family, one of a kind, emphasizing strength, allowed to possess their own knight order, surpassing even the holy knights. As for Bunny, she did not understand what was happening. Bunny did not understand what Roden was saying at all. Sacred family. The human language is so difficult to understand. And, at this time, Roden also revealed an important thing. Many years ago, the direct line of the Duke of Udia family won the battle against the demon race. The little girl gasped and could not believe it. Direct line. Eradicated the demon race. Bunny was adopted by such a place. In the room, Bunny anxiously held her face and mumbled, Bunny life is totally doomed. Being adopted by such a dangerous family. The more she thought, the more the little girl sighed in panic, not knowing what to do. Suddenly Lyly's words appeared and said, Little Master, you absolutely must not let anyone else discover the truth that you are the descendant of the great demon king. Do you understand? And she also encouraged the little girl. Little Master is so special. As long as you hide it carefully, then almost no one will recognize you. Lyly even raised her hand to cheer. A perfect crime. Hearing this, Bunny became more confident. That is right. Then the little girl confidently raised her hand and said loudly, as long as Bunny hides it carefully, then this will be a perfect crime. Then Bunny happily ran into the room. This place is Bunny room. But, looking around, the little girl froze and realized, there are no glittering stones. What made Bunny unexpected was, there are no beautiful curtains either. Sitting down on the bed, the little girl started to complain. It smells so bad. But there was no other way, so she just gave a sigh. After that, Bunny was filled with determination again, thinking. The books Lyly read said that the little children who become the great demon king all grow up in difficult situations. So Bunny is being tested. Furthermore, she also remembered Lyly's reminder. When entering a new room, what must you do first to become a wonderful great demon king? Remembering this, Bunny realized, clean the room. Immediately the little girl rolled up her sleeves to clean and decorate the new room. Finally Bunny finished cleaning neatly. Right at this moment the little girl heard a knock on the door and ran out to answer. Yes. Bunny opened the door and a maid was waiting for her. Opening the door, Jessie face observed Bunny. Then she bowed to greet. Very glad to meet Lady Bunny. I am Jessie, the maid who will help Lady Bunny from now on. Please look after me. Seeing this, the little girl also intended to greet back but slipped her tongue. Hello, I am the Great D. Bunny was panicked and thought, making Jessie not understand what was happening. Oh no. Then Bunny hurriedly spoke again along with that line of thought. I am Bunny, 4 years old with a dream of becoming a great mage. Bunny, if anyone discovers that you are the great demon king, you will be caught and eaten. Hearing this, she also froze for a moment. Then Jessie started to announce. Starting from today, Lady Bunny will live in this mansion as the 52nd collateral branch member of the Duke of Udia family. She was about to continue. This mansion. Then the little girl asked with a bit of confusion. 52. Then Bunny started to calculate in her head. 52 is bigger than 22, right? Seeing this, Jessie immediately calculated for her and answered. It is 2 times 20 plus 12. Milady. Hearing this, the little girl could not believe this number. 2 times 20. 12. In short, that is a huge number. Furthermore, Bunny also thought of the way people would whisper and gossip. Bunny, the Duke daughter. Yes. Among the 52 young ladies and young masters, Lady Bunny is the 16th young lady. Suddenly the little girl also thought of that scene and could not accept it. Because according to Bunny memory, In children's stories, mostly the female protagonist will monopolize the affection of the demon father and become the great demon king. The little girl panicked, and the more she thought of that scene, the more she did not want it. 52 children. If so, then the demon father will work hard to death. And will not notice Bunny. As expected, Bunny life is totally doomed. Jessie looked at Bunny as if she was worrying about something. Then she tried to reassure her. This mansion is called the Mansion of Trials. You can see it as a boarding school, where the Duke family will select and train excellent talents. While the little girl still stiffened and replied, yes. Seeing this, Jessie still felt something was wrong and slowly knelt down. She gently guided the little girl step by step. Since you might not be used to it yet, so I plan to guide you to the classroom during the first week. Bunny also happily replied, yes. After that, Jessie also talked about the next schedule. So, during school time, you just need to go to class every day. You know how to read, right? Hearing this, the little girl confidently and loudly said, yes. Because Bunny is a genius. Jessie saw this expression and praised. You are truly excellent. She also clarified one more thing. Lady Bunny will start from class F, the easiest class. If you know how to read, you will quickly advance to class A, and will soon increase your rank. And Jessie also mentioned another thing. There will be a summoning ritual coming up. At that time, if Milady can summon a good beast, you can also get a rank increase. Hearing this, Bunny was a bit confused and asked, summoning beast. Seeing this, she explained in more detail. Yes, those who carry the bloodline of the Duke family can all summon a divine beast or a holy artifact. Because the Duke of Udia family is receiving the blessing of God. Hearing this, Bunny felt a bit pressured and her body stiffened. Then the little girl was confused and turned pale, thinking, but Bunny does not have God blessing. Remembering Lyly once said, God blessing is a power opposite to the demon race power. And she also emphasized, if a weak demon comes into contact with strong holy energy, the demon body will fall apart and turn to ash. Furthermore, Lyly also reminded Bunny, so, little master must be careful until your power is stable. At this point, the little girl felt like collapsing. Oh no, is Bunny future just ash? After that, Bunny urgently asked, what if I cannot summon anything? While Jessie was still confused and did not understand. Pardon. Seeing this, the little girl urgently repeated, if Bunny cannot summon anything, what will happen? Hearing this, she also spoke with a bit of confusion. I have never seen any case like that. Seeing this, Jessie also comforted Bunny. Do not worry. If you possess the bloodline of the Duke family, you will definitely be able to summon. But the little girl still could not feel at ease when there was still the second biggest risk. The demon race is completely different from humans in many aspects. Bunny is not a human. While she stood up and stepped back to excuse herself. I will come to serve you again at mealtime. You must be tired. Please rest comfortably. Only Bunny was left standing frozen there. After that, the little girl slowly turned back to the bed. Bunny climbed onto the bed and tiredly threw herself down. Bunny was worried and did not know what to do. Lyly, Bunny is finished. At this time, on the other side of the palace, someone came to report to Rudbreed. Lord Duke, according to your order, I have brought Lady Bunny back from the orphanage. Hearing that, he also stopped what he was writing. After that, Rudbreed questioned, do you know who the parents of that child are? Rudbreed Udia, the current head of the Duke of Udia family. After that, Rudbreed questioned, do you know who the parents of that child are? Rudbreed Udia, the current head of the Duke of Udia family. Roden gloomily replied, no, I still have not found out. Seeing this, he was a bit annoyed and gritted his teeth. When that liar suddenly said there was the family bloodline at the orphanage. I wondered what was going on. Rudbreed was a bit helpless, thinking back. This mansion of trials or whatever. I must end it within my generation. A plan to multiply the bloodline to create an army consisting only of family members who can summon. This is something the ancestors did. But it must be said, this plan is truly crazy. Because he knew that, from half-breeds with beastmen, now to abandoned illegitimate children. If the collateral branches keep increasing, then it will be hard to prevent the bloodline from being leaked out randomly. But what Rudbreed hated more was giving birth to a child, but not taking responsibility and abandoning them. If I find that person, I will absolutely not forgive them. His gaze lowered heavily as if he was thinking about something. Then Rudbreed continued to ask. It seems the girl has lived for quite a long time at the orphanage. What kind of child is she? Roden turned around to think for a moment, then replied. She is a very cute lady. At this time L'Oreal continued to advise Bunny. Little master, from now on, you must become a child who does not cause trouble. Because the little girl now was a capable child who can do everything well. But Bunny also understood that L'Oreal had an extremely difficult mission to complete. So from now on, you will have to do many things alone. Seeing this, the little girl confidently beat her chest. It is fine. Bunny is a genius. No need to worry. Washing up, eating, and brushing teeth. Bunny gets 100 points. Looking at that expression, L'Oreal was a bit admiring. Then she rushed over to hug her tightly and dote on her endlessly. How can you be this cute? But of course, my little master is a genius after all. Bunny is a genius. Furthermore, L'Oreal did not stop blowing kisses to Bunny. On the contrary, human adults are very wicked and vile. They do not want to be bothered, but they want a lovely child. Just like my little master. At this time L'Oreal also did not forget to advise. You are still keeping the secret notebook carefully, right? If you run into trouble, open the notebook immediately. Seeing this, the little girl pulled out a teddy bear to show off. Bunny hid it inside Toto belly. Hearing this, she both praised and advised. As expected, my little master is the best. You must not let anyone see the notebook. Then L'Oreal also did not forget to praise. Bunny is the best. The next day when Bunny was sleepy, she vaguely woke up. At this time the little girl was still not fully awake. A while later they went to somewhere in the palace. Jessie reached out her hand to guide the little girl. Then she also introduced. This place is the classroom. Before leaving, Jessie also had words of wishes for Bunny. So, Lady Bunny, do your best in the first class. The little girl also very excitedly replied. Yes. At this time the little girl happily walked into the classroom to find her seat. Then Bunny sat down and put her backpack down, then plunged her head into books. Everyone inside saw the little girl and immediately whispered. That child. It is the first time seeing her. Isn't she the one who was said to arrive today? A boy seeing this scoffed openly. I see. But Bunny did not pay attention to that and was proud. Because the little girl was thinking about Bunny getting 100 points in the exam and becoming the Duke daughter. Suddenly, when receiving the 0-point test, this test made the little girl collapse. Bunny gloomily remembered back then. Bunny got a total of 0 points. She even recalled how miserable it was in class. Spelling 0 points. Reading and speaking 0 points. Lady Bunny. Answering questions also 0 points. Bunny does not understand. Bunny does not understand human words. Lyly only taught Bunny how to listen. What made Bunny more gloomy about this result? Bunny got 0 points across the board. At this time the little girl lay still again and reached out to grab the bear. Bunny held the bear in her hand with some thoughts. If Bunny does not get high scores, then it will be hard to find the super strong father. Toto, what should I do? The more she thought, the more aggrieved the little girl felt and could only hug the bear and shrink into a corner. But while hugging tightly, Bunny heard some sound and woke up. Outside, Jessie was knocking on the door, urgently calling. When opening the door, she was a bit surprised by what was in front of her. Seeing the bear appear, Jessie confusedly called, Milady. After that the little girl poked her head out. But Bunny still hid behind the door and replied, yes. This action made her freeze a bit. When seeing Bunny come out, Jessie walked over to check on her. Yesterday, did you live well? The little girl also happily and energetically replied, yes. This made her a bit puzzled, thinking, usually children who come to the mansion for the first time find it hard to adapt right away, so they will always look for someone. Seeing Bunny so carefree, Jessie was a bit worried and asked, I wonder if you find any place uncomfortable. And she also made a suggestion. During bath times or changing clothes. If it is too difficult, you can call me. But the little girl still strongly and confidently said, Bunny can do it well by myself. Then Bunny also listed the things she could do. Good at brushing teeth. Good at washing up. Good at finishing bathing in 10 minutes. Creating bubbles like crazy, first in the world. The little girl was happy like this because of L'Oreal praise. Because Bunny is a genius. A genius. Hearing this, Jessie was a bit confused but understood and thought, so, is the lady this mature because of the environment she grew up in? At this time Bunny showed off her understanding again. Yes, Bunny is a child who does not cause trouble and is extremely good. Hearing this, she was a bit thoughtful again. The lady becoming an adult too early is not a good thing at all. Then the little girl was a bit curious and asked back, but Jessie, did Jessie come to see Bunny? Seeing this, Jessie stopped thinking much and reminded her, it is nothing. It is just that Milady is the last person to arrive at the mansion this year. So today will be the day the summoning ceremony takes place as scheduled. Hearing this, Bunny suddenly startled and panicked, thinking, Bunny completely forgot about it, how to summon now. Seeing that, she gently explained again, because there will be quite a few people coming to watch the summoning ceremony. If Miss summons a divine beast, a high-grade holy relic, or if someone takes a liking to Miss, then they will become Mrs. Sponsor. Hearing that, the little girl became a bit confused and asked, Sponsor? Then Jessie began explaining more carefully. Yes, among the direct and collateral members of the Duke family, if there is someone who wants to take care of you, then that person will step forward to become your guardian. Guardians are the ones who will arrange personal maids or knights for you. Give you pocket money and gifts too. Moreover, Jessie even gave another example. Roden and Jessie are the shared knight and maid for those ranked from 40 to 52. Meaning, they will become Mrs. Guardians. After hearing that, Bunny became even more curious to the point of excitement. Guardian. The little girl also did not forget what she wished for. Then now Bunny can also, from this place to that place, wrap it all up for my daughter. There will be a father. Thinking that, Bunny became even more determined and passionately said, Bunny will also have a super strong father. Bunny will train really hard to get a father. Hearing that, she became even more shocked. This small and mature child. She must miss her parents very much. After being shocked, Jessie could only sigh while preparing her words. After thinking carefully, she turned and said, perhaps they only want to be guardians, not fathers. Moreover, there is no guarantee. She tried to reassure her. So please do not expect too much. But the little girl was still full of confidence and affirmed, Bunny is a genius with perfect scores, so definitely yes. Hearing that, she understood and silently smiled slowly. Afterwards, Jessie did not forget to offer, yes, it will definitely be like that. If you need any help, just tell me anytime. I will come immediately. Bunny also happily replied, yes. When the door closed, the little girl immediately changed her carefree eyes into determined will. Afterwards, Bunny went out and tightly shut her room door. Then the little girl turned back and picked up the bear on the floor. At this moment, Bunny rushed quickly to the bed to lie down. Right after that, the little girl took out her secret notebook. Turns out Lyly once told Bunny, the secret notebook Lyly gave. If something unexpected happens, then open the notebook, okay? Bunny really is a genius. Afterwards, the little girl slowly opened the notebook. The more she opened it, the more Bunny smiled and thought, little one, opening this page means you have already been adopted into the Duke family and the summoning ceremony is about to happen, right? Inside the notebook, she left a message beforehand. My little one, you are worried about what to do, right? Seeing that, Bunny was a bit startled and thought, how does Jessie know so well? But you do not need to worry. And Lyly also firmly affirmed, please trust this, Lyly. After reading that sentence, the little girl was completely surprised and thought, Bunny coming here. Lyly knew beforehand. On the next morning, Bunny, because of being too worried, because she was too nervous. So yesterday she could not sleep at all. Until the day of the summoning ceremony. I was the same. Everyone at this moment was gathered together chatting with each other. If this time the summoning goes well, Mom will buy me a nice outfit. Lucky. I should probably ask Mom to buy me one too. Bunny firmly stepped into this place. The little girl confidently stood among many people present here. At this moment, Bunny was still extremely confident for today. In the little girl's mind right now was full of praise, thinking, today is a stylish Bunny. The hairpin gifted by the orphanage. The dress gifted by the orphanage director. Demon King teddy bear giving courage. Bunny is perfect. The little girl was still very confident in herself. Because Bunny is a genius. With a long line of father candidates, then what should I do? Right at this moment Roden came over and called out, "Miss Bunny." Bunny turned back and greeted him too. Roden. Afterwards the little girl also did not forget to wave and greet. "Hello." He also walked over and greeted back. "Yes. Good morning, miss. Have you been doing well during this time?" Seeing that Bunny also happily recounted. Yes. Bunny has not failed at all. And even adapted to this storm like Duke family. Soon, Bunny will get 10 affection points. Seeing this action Roden smiled in relief. This action shocked many people there. Meanwhile Roden was holding back laughter while looking at the little girl's bag. The teddy bear is a stuffed animal, right? Bunny also happily danced around showing off. Yes, this is Megumi that will give Bunny courage. Suddenly Roden unexpectedly knelt down. He knelt and suggested, "So it is Megumi. It is about to fall out. Let me tie it back for you, okay?" Hearing that the little girl turned worriedly and asked, "Really? Megumi cannot fall." The people around seeing this scene were confused and asked, "Newlywed night huh? Roden Heiner, that stone statue, is fixing a stuffed teddy bear too. Must be seeing wrong. There has to be something for all of us to see wrong together." At this moment Jessie came over and called everyone to gather. "It seems everyone has arrived. Now let us start moving." Afterwards she led everyone toward the test site. While walking everyone was still happily chatting. "So my father." Meanwhile Bunny was still looking toward him. Seeing that Roden bent down and suggested, "Let us go." Seeing that the little girl happily replied, "Yes." Because she was too excited Bunny walked very quickly. After walking for a while Bunny turned and asked, "But Roden, where are we going?" Seeing that Roden introduced again, "To a small temple located inside the main building of the Udia Duke mansion." Then he pointed ahead and continued, "The hall inside only opens during the summoning ceremony. It is also called the blessing room." Seeing it the little girl was completely shocked and thought, "Temple." As soon as they arrived Bunny spoke nostalgically. "Long time no see, dragging that face here again." At this moment Rudbreed spoke in disgust. "The guy who spends all day wandering outside. Klein Udia." He began pointing out each person one by one. "And the other one who stays shut inside his room all day. Kirill Udia." Afterwards Rudbreed helplessly scolded, "You are really determined to make this father worried, huh?" Seeing that the guy turned and said, "Come on, I attend event occasions sometimes. I even came to watch the summoning ceremony like the performance of those kids. As for ordinary things, if I neglect them a little then please forgive me, father." Hearing that he became even more irritated. "This brat." On the other side Salami added fuel to the fire and said, "Father, really, do not be like that. Older brother is busy gambling." Salami Udia. Hearing that Klein argued in confusion. "What? Gambling? You are talking nonsense again." Seeing that Rudbreed became even more furious. "You damn brat. Klein, do you think acting like that is worthy of being a member of the sacred Udia Duke family?" He worriedly turned to explain. "That is not it, father. I only went to gather information." After saying that Klein seemed to think of something. Unexpectedly he even turned and said meaningfully, "Not because I like gambling. Unlike you hiding in your room praying all day. Never showing your face." But Kirill said nothing and remained silent. Then he put down the teacup. Seeing that he immediately began threatening. "Because if this time you still do not come, father will send you on a long business trip." But Kirill returned to the old topic. "More importantly, hurry and start then finish it. I do not have much time." Klein also realized and turned saying, "The kids are probably arriving there by now." Afterwards he even stood up and did not forget to mock. "Now that I think about it, those abnormal kids are participating too, right? From the beastman slave to the abandoned cat." Seeing that Rudbreed reminded him, "Watch your mouth in front of the kids." But Klein was still interested and curious. "I am really curious. Wonder if it is a hit or a miss." Meanwhile Kirill turned away in boredom and said, "Not expecting much either." Afterwards they also stood up preparing to watch. "Let us go and take a look." Kirill coldly said, not like he expected much anyway. Letting Klein and Salami head out first. He called out, "Let us go take a look first." Outside the White Palace, Bunny was overwhelmed inside. The room was so huge. The little girl leaned slightly to the side, observing the sphere while thinking. It looked like a water droplet. Jessie explained. This place is the blessing room, where the summoning ritual takes place. The young ladies and young masters stand on this side. And when your names are called, you just step forward and follow the instructions. As soon as they heard that, the group of children became noisy. This is so nerve-wracking. I want to summon something really high quality. What about you guys? What do you want to summon? Bunny had already been excited from before. My little lord will definitely summon something really cool and amazing. Last night, the little girl was very confident. Everything L'Oreal says is always right. So this time will definitely be the same too. They kept talking non-stop. Bunny will probably summon a super strong dragon. Hearing that, the little girl curiously asked, Lyly, what is the black flame dragon on the left arm? Then she was answered, it is an extremely powerful black dragon standing beside the great demon king. If it resides within the left arm, we will overflow with courage and be able to do anything. And that was also the only thing Bunny knew that was extremely cool and powerful. Then the little girl imagined the father candidates lining up behind Bunny, while saying, to think there is a child with such wonderful abilities. Please allow me to become your father. Then came another invitation. I will give you a castle made from the finest chocolate. What do you think? Will you become my child? That shabby little rabbit is the owner of the dragon forbid the demon king, and even has ambitions of becoming the demon king and the great mage. Even with such a pretty face, it is still hard for me to believe unless I see proof. Bunny immediately winked. This is the proof. Then those candidates exclaimed, oh my goodness, to think it is actually true. This is the first time I have ever seen such an outstanding child. Child, become one family with me. Bunny received 10 affection points. The little girl smiled happily. I have to fly up into the clouds and play now. One step echoed down. A purple-haired priest stood in the middle of the hall. He announced, Duke Rudbleed Udia, First Holy Knight Commander Klein Udia, Saintess Salami Udia, and young Master Kirill Udia have arrived. Instantly the crowd straightened their backs, waiting for the royal group to arrive. Bunny was also drawn in and widened her eyes. Then the little girl looked around. Her face turned serious. Oh, seeing everyone respectfully lowering their heads. The child copied them too. Bunny as well. Rudbreed silently observed. He looked at everyone. Watching Klein's actions made his eyes burn with irritation. A hand gently rested on the blessing sphere. Salami quickly made it shine brightly. Thousands of sparkling stars glittered. The priest calmly said, all right, we will now begin the summoning ritual. From now on, those whose names are called will step forward here and place their hand inside this transparent sphere. He started calling out. First, young Master Andrew, yes, making Bunny's face instantly pale. White light, remembering Teacher L'Oreal's warning. White light, if a weak demon race comes into contact with strong holy power, their body will turn into dust and disappear, so my lord must be extremely careful. Because of that, the little girl thought, Bunny will not melt into bubbles, right? Bunny will die, will turn into bubbles, so she had to hide carefully the moment she saw light. Seeing the little girl frightened, Rodin quickly asked, Miss, are you all right? Are you hurt anywhere? Even though her face looked panicked. Inside her heart Bunny thought, Bunny is still fine, that is only natural. Then she immediately smirked, crossing her arms while giggling proudly. The little girl declared, actually, Bunny is super amazing. Returning to the priest. Next, young Master Ian summoned a cat. Then next, Miss Sarah summoned a bracelet. Young Master Selden, Miss Rora. The priest continued speaking. Next, then he quickly noticed. This time, please step forward, young Master Allen. At that moment, the little boy wore a cold expression. Amid the noisy whispers of the crowd, that child, with beasts, even bringing that filthy thing to the ritual. A disgrace to the whole family. And Bunny heard every single word clearly. Watching Alan walk forward, the little girl understood clearly. He would summon a beast with extremely high stats. Yet they still called it filthy. And she was completely certain. Bunny's rival. At that moment, the priest seemed slightly hesitant. But he still said, you only need to place your hand inside this sphere. The little boy observed for a moment before following the instructions. His hand reached deep inside. The little girl watched excitedly. The next person is Bunny. The final turn. But then, after 10 minutes, after 20 minutes, still exactly the same, making Bunny collapse in despair. The little girl lost all interest and flopped down onto the floor. Roden immediately asked, "Miss, are you all right?" Even though the little girl answered, "Yes." Inside her mind she thought, "Actually Bunny is really tired." Making him carry Bunny up. Meanwhile, Alan was still standing there. The little boy tightly shut his eyes, then slowly opened them. His hand was already outside. A stream of white light appeared. Something long wrapped around Alan. It slowly revealed itself. The little boy calmly stroked the creature. Witnessing this made Bunny gasp. A huge king snake. It looked incredibly strong, truly worthy of being my rival. But those people kept gossiping. "It is a snake, huh? How unlucky." As expected, a half-breed is only a half-breed. That being who is neither human nor beast is still allowed to remain within the Duke family. Hearing that, Rudbreed slammed heavily against the throne. The single strike made the little girl jump in shock. The others instantly fell silent too. He warned them, "Quite the noisy bunch gossiping over there, while I am still sitting right here." Making the little girl feel intimidated. "He is so scary." The others also lowered their voices. Alan then returned to his original spot. Meanwhile Bunny covered her mouth and jumped down from the chair. Human adults do not like noisy children. The little girl tiptoed forward, quietly approaching the little boy. Then she looked up at him. Seeing her, Alan immediately became suspicious. This child, is she the illegitimate child brought to the mansion this time? Then he asked, "What is it?" The little girl immediately acted cute and clingy. "Mister, can I touch the king snake?" Hearing that made Alan a little hesitant. But in the end he reluctantly agreed, letting Bunny gently pat its head. Then she slowly pulled her hand away. The little girl smirked, making Alan confused. Then she proudly patted her own shoulder. "It is okay. Second place is still really cool." While inside her head she was thinking, "First place belongs to Bunny. Because Bunny will summon a dragon." Hearing that made the little boy freeze. "What are you even talking about?" Then the announcement came. Finally, "Miss Bunny, please step forward." And the little girl instantly answered, "Yes." She walked forward filled with confidence. Because Bunny was going to choose a gigantic super huge dragon. Without understanding anything, the little boy became confused. "Dragon? What?" The little girl sat while hugging her teddy bear. Then reminded herself, "All right, I just need to place my hand inside here. One touch and it is I say Kai." Wind blew beneath the blue sky. Bunny recalled it, the light she saw earlier. It was calling out to Bunny. "There is a dragon here. A black flame dragon." Then the little girl swam through the sky. Bunny is going to find the black flame dragon now. Then she even stumbled, flying around and searching everywhere. A powerful light, pitch black in color. Near the corner of a tree was a black spot and the little girl thought. Bunny chose the black dragon. It will become the black flame dragon on the left arm. Seeing the right target, Bunny's eyes lit up. Found it. The little girl charged forward headfirst. Black flame dragon. Her hand stretched toward the sphere. But when Bunny clenched her hand, she missed it. An invisible force dragged her away. The little girl's eyes filled with confusion. The black vortex kept spinning. There was a story passed down within the Udia Duke family. The longer the summoning took, the greater the value of the summoned object. Rudbreed stroked his chin thoughtfully. The more time it takes, the higher the chance of summoning a divine beast or a great holy relic. The group of nobles also became noisy. Is this not the first time something like this has happened? Even the highest-ranking direct bloodline members only took 30 to 40 minutes. But this had already been an hour, and Bunny still had not moved at all. Even the current Duke and young Master Kiriel did not reach 1 hour. Facing this situation, the branch family members began feeling a strange sense of anticipation. Judging gazes intensified. In truth, talented people had always come from the direct bloodline, and rumors said the current Duke was restricting and controlling the branch families. So if someone outstanding appeared from the branch family, it would not be a bad thing. The little girl slowly opened her eyes, even if she was just an illegitimate child with unknown origins and parents. In Bunny's hands now was a red sphere. It floated high into the air and shined brightly, blinding everyone. Then it slowly shrank down. And finally it dropped onto the ground with a thud. A tiny little egg. Everyone's eyes nearly popped out. After all that, it was just an egg. A quail egg. Bunny collapsed onto the floor. The little girl whimpered sadly. No. Black flame dragon. She was full of regret. I was going to ignore that light. My black flame dragon. And when she tried to grab the black flame dragon again, the moment she caught the light she got dragged away once more. Roden immediately became worried. Miss Bunny, are you all right? While the little girl collapsed hugging his leg. Bunny, I am completely doomed now. Witnessing the strange scene left the priest speechless. Rudbreed had to cover his mouth and cough lightly. Roden looked over toward Jessie. Bunny cried loudly because she firmly believed. My little lord will definitely summon a strong and super cool divine beast. Please trust this L'Oreal, only to get hit with reality. Lyly, that was a lie. It is not strong at all. The little girl looked completely hopeless. Bunny cannot read human letters. And now there is no dragon either. The secret plan to become an ultra-powerful demon king. The plan to find a father failed. Nobody lined up at all. But after crying for a while, Bunny suddenly froze in shock. If that is the case, then Bunny is completely ordinary. But then she remembered the words. If Milord stays in this orphanage and gets adopted, then Milord must find a guardian for yourself. It does not necessarily have to be a father. As long as there is an adult human staying by your side until you grow up. That will be enough. Even so, Lyly told me I still need a guardian. Raising her hand to wipe away her tears. There is no helping it. Bunny decided to pull herself together. A child with lots of money will be loved by anyone. The self-made Chable life of a third-rate demon race 3-year-old. The hated illegitimate demon child becoming the richest person on the continent. The story of becoming rich at 4 years old. Since it is like this. Next comes the money strategy. If the father candidates will not line up themselves, then Bunny will just personally search for father candidates instead. Then the little girl quickly darted her eyes around. Then her eyes shifted toward the royal family's table. The little girl's gaze finally stopped at Kiriel's seat. Found one. Bunny gasped in shock because red eyes, pitch black hair, the exact appearance of the super powerful father figures from fairy tales. And handsome too. Success. Finally, L'Oreal's ultimate trick. No matter how many guardian candidates there are, my little lord only needs to choose someone handsome or outstanding. Basically, a person's importance depends on how good-looking they are. The royal family's section was silent. Because Rudbreed was frowning suspiciously. That summoned object which looked like a divine beast egg still had not hatched yet. This was the first time in history. He placed his hand on the armrest. Then suddenly stood up. Rudbreed frowned and announced, "Everyone has worked hard during this summoning ceremony." He continued, "I will conduct private interviews later. For today, we will end things here." Not stopping there, Rudbreed added, "Also, please do your best to attend tonight's banquet. This will be a good opportunity for everyone to comfortably express their feelings. Because some people may reunite with their children after a long separation." After that he immediately left, leaving the crowd confused. What? Today is ending this early? The hall then became a place for families. Mother, I missed you. Oh my beloved son, running like that is dangerous. What if you slipped and got hurt? Sarah ran over to her father regretfully. Father, I did not summon anything powerful at all. And received comforting words in return. Why is my daughter crying? In my eyes, whatever you summoned is the best. A young master ran over to his mother shouting, Mom, did you see it? I summoned something super cool. And she immediately responded excitedly. I saw it. I even recorded it with a high-quality recording sphere that can capture sound too. Your father was busy so he could not come. But I will definitely show it to him. Another family said, You did very well, my son, because you completed the summoning ceremony excellently without crying or complaining. The Duke will definitely notice you. Only Bunny stood there alone hugging Megumi. The little girl thought quietly for a moment. Then suddenly startled herself. Bunny immediately turned her head around, looking toward Kiriel. He also glanced over after noticing her. The little girl's eyes lit up. Bunny's father. No. Guardian candidate. Then she bowed politely, bowing so deeply that it looked awkward. Then suddenly straightened back up. And Bunny quickly turned away. Kirill vaguely remembered her, the little girl who stood out the moment she entered the blessing hall. He smiled faintly. To think she actually managed to drive my father away. That child really is a disaster. He could not even hold back his laughter, so the ceremony ended early like this. But it was understandable that father could not stop watching. Because until now he had only seen children who were rigorously trained to perform well during competitions and his own children who were never particularly amusing. It was surprising that he actually liked cute things. That child was found by father's divine beast. So she definitely carried the Duke family's bloodline. Yet at the same time she was a strange abandoned child whose biological parents were completely unknown. That made Kirill think, I thought this was merely a mistake. But I can sense an unusual energy coming from that child. At that moment, Bunny walked over to Alan again. Hey, bend down a little. Yet the little boy still listened. As if. That was an incredibly troublesome kind of energy. The sort that reminded me of those people. Everyone avoided him. A half-beast man. Is he not basically a beast too? They say he transforms into a complete beast during the full moon night. So disgusting. We will not catch some disease from him, right? He is a wild beast. And even a violent monster too. There are rumors that he even eats people. Oh my god, why does he not just die already? His parents probably saw him as nothing more than a servant's mistake. So they abandoned him and left. Alan, the half-beast man born between a beast man and a woman from the ice branch of the Udia clan. One of the most controversial figures within the Udia family. Abandoned by his parents and raised in the trial mansion since he was an infant. Because of that, Alan had never once imagined a situation like this before. Understanding that, Bunny gently patted his head, making the little boy freeze in surprise. You did well. Then the little girl praised him. You did really well with such a powerful king snake. You deserve praise. You are a good child. This scene made Alan feel that something was very wrong. The little boy jerked backward and shouted, "What are you doing?" making Bunny blink blankly in confusion. The little girl simply answered, "Did well. Pat pat." Bunny and the king snake both do not have parents. So together, Alan became so embarrassed his face turned red. Even though he was older. The little boy pointed straight at her and yelled, "I do not need that. You are younger than me. Get lost, ugly brat." Alan immediately ran away at full speed. After getting insulted, the little girl puffed out her cheeks, muttering unhappily, "Bunny is not an ugly brat. It is Bunny's turn to get praised." She sighed deeply. Why is social life so difficult? When will Bunny finally grow up already? While the little girl was still standing there blankly, she suddenly heard a voice saying, "You did well, my daughter." Bunny stood all alone in the middle of the hall, watching Sarah being comforted. There now. Tomorrow father will buy you a dress, okay? Because you did excellently during the summoning ceremony. Another family was saying, "We absolutely have to tell everyone how cool you were." The little girl wanted that too. So she reached up and patted her own head. Bunny's egg deserves praise too. She comforted herself. Maybe the egg will hatch into a baby dragon. Bunny will raise it. Black flame dragon. The moment she thought that, the little girl hugged her teddy bear and ran away. Kirill quietly watched her leave. Across the grand main hall of the palace. After returning to Bunny's room, the little girl read the letter. My little lord, congratulations on completing the summoning ceremony. And at that point she burst into laughter. Lyly really is a genius. And the letter continued, are you perhaps worried that you will not be able to find a guardian? When Bunny read further, her eyes suddenly sparkled. This is the ultimate trick prepared for my little lord. For the moment when my lord opens this page while crying because you failed to summon something amazing. Do not worry, my lord only needs to approach them first. Go directly to the person you like and say this.